Hello, welcome back, guys. This is AE Talk Show, Africa and Europe Talk Show. Today, we always bring you the best. Always remember that authenticity is our trademark. Today, we are bringing you another sensitive topic. By the way, you can call me Anthony. Today, I have with me my co-host, Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson, he's always with me. Today we are going to talk about this sensitive issue that maybe you have thought of it, but you've never given it a deep thought. Have you wondered why you don't see young ladies, or let me say young girls with pregnancy roaming around in Europe? Have you wondered why? But when you come to Africa, it is a normal thing. Have you wondered why parents in Europe don't push their children when they get pregnant? They don't push them outside to go and fend for themselves. Have you wondered why? Anyway, wherever you have seen any teenage person in this Europe, wherever you are, just comment it below this video, and we will deal with it. I think we will give you something. But today we are going to deal with it. Why is it that you don't see teenage pregnancy as compared to our young sisters back home in Africa? Let me say that, back in Nigeria and back in Ghana Africa as well. Africa in general, let me say that. So today we are going to let you know, as always, here we give you the real fact. So don't go. Stay glued to your phone, to your machine, to your tablet, wherever you are watching us from. Just stay glued to that device. This episode is going to be very, very interesting. Now, my brother, let's go into it. First of all, take us through what teenage pregnancy means. When we say teenage pregnancy, what does it mean?
Getting pregnant before your age, or getting pregnant out of wedlock. I think more or less just getting pregnant before the rightful age, right?
Yeah, generally getting pregnant in your teen age.
So first of all, we have to go deeper.
Yeah.
Hope we are free to say it the way it is.
Of course.
We'll go deeper first of all.
We talk real here.
First of all, I think ignorant, number one. Then parenting, number two. The reason why I say ignorant, Africans are ignoring so many things in which they are supposed to teach the children while growing up. Okay? For instance, you hardly see an African parent kiss in the front of their children. Real African parents, not this Gen Z.
You mean our mothers?
Yes.
Our mothers and our fathers, okay.
You hardly see them.
Both back home or in Europe back or home, wherever.
Even here. When you see them, probably you see them only more in movies. But in reality, it's not so.
Okay.
So the first thing is our way of parenting. Is it right or is bad? For me, it is right. But there are one of few things that
we don't get it right.
We don't get it right. For instance, if an African child, on behalf of the mother, go to the kitchen and it takes a meat and eat, they call that child a thief.
Without asking permission.
Without the permission of the parent. Reason why they call the child a thief, it's not because taking the meat, it's because it might grow up becoming an habit, not being contented with what he or she has. So the first of all, break that chain from that child. Telling that child not to steal or not to go on behalf of the mother to take a meat from the pot. But if an Europe child did the same thing, it's a normal thing. He's not a thief. He's hungry. He or she is hungry. Or he or she did not add enough. That is why he went on behalf of the parent to take the meat. When an African mother is cooking, the child dares not to come to the kitchen if you are not called to take a piece of meat while she is cooking. They will beat the hell out of you. But if it happens in Europe, it's because the child is hungry and he has waited for so long. So for he or she not to be too hungry, will go to the kitchen and take a piece of meat. In some cases, not even asking.
Because
He's
basically
hungry.
the parents will reason that
Because
maybe
the
the child
hungry.
was angry. That is why.
But an
he or she went
African
to take-
home where you try that with a real African mother, once again, not this Gen Z.
My brother, sometimes even this with this
Even this Gen Z too, they still
Yeah,
have some symptom of our African parenting.
Actually, in my home, I do. So,
So, you are not a Gen Z. No, I'm not a Gen Z.
okay,
So,
I understand.
I think the foundation is from our parenting. When a child from Africa cries back home that his age mates beat him up, the African mother would take that child back, that you must go and fight and beat that child back. That is parenting. That is the African way of growing their children. If an African child got pregnant before marriage, they will call that child all sorts of names. That probably she's a prostitute, she's a nothing child, she's unserious child, all sorts of names. But if a Europe child mistakenly got pregnant in a teenage way, the parents would bear the responsibility that it is their mistakes. Automatically, they didn't train or they didn't do the right thing. That is why the child got pregnant. They would take the child, they would do everything possible to protect the child, protect the baby, probably. But if it happened in an African home, they might send you out of the home. And sending you out of the home, your suffering just started. You are automatically on your own. NFA. You are on your own at that time. But at that particular time, if it happened to a European, or let me say, use the popular word we know, to the white people, they take the child in, they do everything possible to protect the child. Probably if they want to do it in the other way, anything they want to do, they will put hands together to do it. But in our own case, they will kick you out. You dare not, because the first thing your parents will say that they sent you to school to learn to become better people. Because our parents, the reason why they want you to become better people, not because of for yourself alone, because they believe when you become a better person, you will better the life of the other people. But in their own case here, when they send you to school to learn to become better person, they are sending you to school to become better person for your own self, not for the family. Right? When you are doing well as a European or as a white person, you are doing well for yourself. You are not doing well for the family. You can assist the family if you choose to. You are not mandated to assist the family. But if you are an African, because of the way we were brought up, if you are doing well, automatically you are mandated to remove the rest of the family from poverty in respect of whom they are. It's only in Africa that we have first, second, third, fourth generation as part of our responsibility.
What do you mean by that?
What do I mean that in the sense that your uncle's uncle, the child automatically is your brother or your sister.
Then you have to take care of them.
So if you are doing well, you have to take care of them. But yeah, your uncle's child has nothing to do with you. It's only if you are that type who cares about family.
Yeah.
So now, the system in which we grow up affects the pattern of how we behave. This is why you see 80% of Africans live in a way that they are always angry.
Angry?
Yes. We live with anger. It's not because we are angry as part of life, but the way we are brought up with kind of violent way, if I may say, aggressive way, not because we are brought up in aggressive way for we to become aggressive, but we are brought up in fear.
To take care of our own.
Yes. When we are growing up, like for instance, while growing up, I think a day my uncle was talking to me. I mistakenly looked at his face. Do you know what he did? He gave me a dirty slap.
Your uncle was speaking to you.
Yes.
And you looked
at his face. He gave me a dirty slap that I'm too small to look at his face. Why would he be talking to me and I will be looking at his face directly? But the white people, when they are talking to you, for you, in the sign of respect, you must look at their face. That is respect. But in Africa, when an elderly man or elderly woman is talking to you, you are mandated to look at the ground. You don't need to look at the person's face because it's your elder. So you looking at the person's face is like you are disrespecting an elder. But the white people, when they talk to you, don't look at their face, you are disrespecting them. So you see the different way of parenting. That is Africa. The Europe have their way of parenting. The Africa have their way of parenting. An African parent can kick their child out of the house just because he failed the exam.
Okay.
Then a white man would rather pet the child and tell the child to try to do well. Okay? But African parents who said you are wasting his or her money just because you are not doing well. Then there's something I also found out when a child is growing up here, they look at the part that child is good. And they dedicate the child, they direct the child energy towards that direction. If the child is good in singing, they direct the child towards that singing. They manage the child in that career so that the child automatically grows up to become a musician. But in Africa, when they send you to school, you dare not practice music. You dare not go for football. But thank God it's changing at the end of the day. Now it's changing. Before you dare not do it. During our time, today I can't play football because I was forbid not to play football. Yeah. I was forbid not to play football. The last time I played football, I think I got injured and I was beaten up for playing football. Yes, for playing football.
Yeah, I remember football was for the bad boys. Those who don't stay home.
Unserious
those
people.
Who are on the streets.
Unserious people. Wayward children. When you go to play football after school, your parents sees you play football after school back then. They call you a wayward child that wants to live a wayward life. They will be using probably one of the wayward child in that street to be giving you as an example. Didn't you see that guy? Do you want to be like Samson when you grow up? Did you see the way Samson feed? Do you want to be like him? Did you see that he's begging from one place to another? But they forgot that probably Samson's destiny was different. Your own destiny was different. So you see the different way of parenting.
So you are taking us from the angle of parenting.
The parenting. I'm giving you the real foundation of it.
The course.
Why the course? So now, when you have a male child and a female child, in Africa, they dedicate more time to teach the female child because believing that the female child will grow up one day to get married and make her own family. That energy they dedicated training the female child. I'm not talking about education now. I'm just talking about normal orientation.
From the house.
From the house.
Okay.
You can see an African mother telling her daughter to learn how to cook. So that when he get married, he can cook for the husband. But you will not see an African mother telling the son to learn how to cook. So that when you grow up, you can be cooking to assist your wife, probably when she's pregnant or when she's not too fine. Some women, when they are on their monthly dues, they feel very weak and they can't do nothing. So at the end of it, you train up the child, the girl child more than the boy child. So the girl child has the possibility of growing up to become a better person, while the boy child have a low possibility of growing up to become a better person.
Yeah.
So now, this is why when you go back to Africa, when a female child is doing the male job, the female boy, that is the boy's job, they call that child as, come on, do you want to be like a man? This job is not made for you. This is the job for men. You can't be doing that. But they forgot that probably that is the girl's talent. Back again. Yeah, they look at you, what you can do, and they channel your energy.
You mean the European countries?
Yes, the white people generally. They channel your energy towards that thing that you can do. But African parents, in as much they were unable to become a doctor, they were unable to become a lawyer, they were unable to become an accountant, an engineer, they want you to become that they couldn't be. So they want you to study an engineering or study to become a doctor. The question is, what if I'm not intelligent enough to become a doctor? What if I'm not intelligent enough to become an engineer? So, the Europe is not because they train their children more better than us, but they understand what it means for a child to need and provide it for the child. It's not because an African parents don't provide, they provide. But when they provide, they expect you to be what they want you to be, not what you want to be.
It's like they create your future
for you.
Okay.
So they create this future that so
you have to be a doctor.
A doctor.
At the end of the day.
That is why I'm saying that if I build an empire today, I'm not building the empire because of my children. I'm building the empire so that when I go old, I can see something to eat. Okay. Can I save money for my children? Yes. Saving money for my children is good. In respect that when they grow up, probably anybody who has his own dream can get out of that money to pursue his or her own dream. But if I build an empire, probably I build a company, I'm not expecting my children to grow up to come manage it because I was the one that built it. I understand it. Can I teach my child to understand it? Yes. But it's not must that the child must do what I am doing.
That's whatever that you want.
That's why you see over here, you see a man owns a big company, but the child is not working there.
Of course.
When you ask why your child is not, you say, no, that one is doing his own job. Now, this is my job. Then for those who wants to inherit what their parents left, you will see them follow the same step. But yeah, it's not must. But an African rich man wants to build an empire.
Family business,
so that as he's living, his son, probably his daughter becomes the manager, continue the legacy and all that. Europe is not made, the white people didn't make their own like that.
Okay, so coming back to what we were saying. Now, with this background that you have given, the difference between the African home guidance as regards to the European home guidance. Yes. Now, let's say everybody had a good background, good guidance from their parents. That thing has happened. Because you can't tell me that these white people, from what we have seen, especially me, I have experienced with them from since I came here. I am very sure that they even have sex more than we, the African people.
Yes.
I am very sure. But they don't get pregnant. Even if they get pregnant, we don't see them giving birth out of wedlock.
Now, that is the foundation.
What is this thing?
That is the foundation I was laying earlier on. Now, the African parent wants you to go to school. Okay, to become better person. One of the reasons why you see African teenage as single mothers more than the Europe, with the little I've seen here, is because most time when the parent gets disappointed, they don't have choice than to kick you out. Because for them, you have brought disgrace and shame.
Yeah.
But the white people, they will take it as part of the life mistake and they will manage the situation. So automatically, you won't even see the child outside. You will see that maybe when the child gave birth, the child grows up, the daughter goes back to school. But in the Africa way, when the child grows up, it became your responsibility because your parents ask you to get pregnant.
So they will kick you out.
They will kick you out. Some family will kick you out. Some will accept you. But it's more rare because, one, that is where I made the example of you hardly see African parents kiss in the front of their children. You said we should go deeper. Now I want to go raw. Now, African parents don't teach their children sex or time.
They hide it from them.
They hide it from the children. So most time the children grows up to know what is sex.
By themselves.
Without no orientation. So I have seen a couples of family teaches their children what sex is all about. Okay. You see parents at the very tender age, they started teaching their children when also time when your monthly due will come, how you can manage it and all that. I, as a father, I tend also to teach my own daughters that way. If my daughters get to 10, I'll start giving her orientation concerning sex. Because it's very important. In as much sex is good, there's still the negative aspect. It can scatter your dream. In the sense that when you get pregnant as a girl, you have 9 months to carry that pregnancy. Then you give birth to that child. That is if you
decide to keep it.
Yes. If you decide to keep it. You give birth to the child. You have at least the minimum of 1 year to take care of the child. That if you have parents who want to assist you to take care of the child and you go back to school. So, but if you don't have parents in that situation, you will be the one to bear the responsibility. So at the end of the day, or the process of you, look at where we make mistake. Now, on the process of you chasing the child out, you've opened the child to another opportunity. So one wayward man can come in the name of, don't worry, I will help you to take care of your child. You know what happens? He gets her pregnant again. She carried the second child. Another father has come. Then that one will not tell you that he's not ready to carry the responsibility of another child. Then what happened? You now became a single mother with 2 children.
Between outside.
Do you know why it happens? Because the parents kicked her out. If the parents have kept her in, accept her, that child would have gotten pregnant by another man. So, but here in Europe, you see those white people with when their children are growing up, they tell them everything they have to know about sex, so that the child will not make mistake of being pregnant. Okay. So I think Africans also should wake up. Thank God some parents are doing it now.
Yeah.
I think we should also wake up to be teaching all these things also in schools, because it teaches them also in school. Yeah. Teach them what is dating is all about. Teach them what kissing is all about. Teach them all these things. And a Europe child at the age of 13 and all that has started going for date. But you hardly see an African child at the age of 13 going for a date.
Abomination.
Look, you dare not do that.
No, so is it the system? No, wait. Right now, what you are saying, now, after teaching your child, giving the sex education, blah, 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 both the European home and the African home. Now, at the end of the day, by all means, with 1 or 2 things, with 1 or 2 calculation, mistake will come. One will get pregnant. Let's say that. But you will not see the white people, they are teenagers being pregnant. But rather, you will see our African brothers and sisters, our African sisters, with their teenage pregnancy on the street. Why is it that? Is it that
you see them on the street? It's still the same thing we are talking about. You see them on the street because they were chased out of the home.
By their parents.
By their parents.
So that is the difference.
That is the difference,
the
number
one. They will
one.
not chase you out.
Well, the white people will accept you for who you are, what you are. Then even if they don't accept you, the society, the government will accept you. So I think
because they have put
some certain things in place. Yeah. So I think also our leaders back home should put some necessity things in place in case of issues like this. So if probably you were kicked out by your parents, the government comes in maybe to take care of you and the child. Okay, to some certain stage that you can now provide for yourself. Even here, in some cases, they will help you to look for a job. By the time you got in a job, then you are free to live your life alone. But in Africa, it's not like that. So the system of Africa contributed.
Yeah.
There are some certain things that are not in place. Then our parenting system also contributed. If a child made a mistake of getting pregnant, the best way to correct the child is not kicking the child out. It's trying to bring the child in and know where the mistake comes from. Probably the mistake might come from the parenting. The way the child grows up.
Most of the time it comes from the
Probably
parenting.
the mistake might come from the environment the child grows up. So you don't see it rampant. It's not because they don't get pregnant.
It is under the table. It is under the table.
It is aiding.
Yeah.
So you don't really see it. You can see some people at the age of 20, they said he has 5-6 years old child. So when they get pregnant, that is to tell they get pregnant in a teenage way. So then another thing again, over here, I have experienced, I don't know, I don't want to lie, more than 3 occasions that the parent, when the girl child grew to that level, they have these pills that they give to them. Okay, government approve. Some are probably there's this microchips that they inject in their hand. Why some are probably drugs that they take, I think, once in a month. Why some something that they can put inside their vagina. You said I should go raw inside their vagina, and it stop them from getting.
Yeah, sorry. No, go for
it. It stops them from getting them pregnant. No, they have to know.
Yeah.
It stops them from getting pregnant in that teenage age. Some they use it in when they get married. So when they get married, then they can stop using it. Why some, although I don't advise that, some probably they said they turn the womb. They turn the womb, but I don't advise it. You can't joke.
So they turn the womb
so that
when they are ready to marry, they go and return
it
them
in the position again. I had something on. I don't know how true it is, but if there is, I don't advise that. But then I can advise you that there are drugs to take, government approve drugs to take to protect you from getting pregnant at that early stage and all that. But then again, even as a child, if you want to have it sex, at least get to the age of 18. Don't give your parents responsibility that they didn't plan for. Your parent some parents gave birth to just a child because that is what they can take care of. Then you get it pregnant, you've come with another extra responsibility. So it is advice also for children to also know what they are doing. Fine, is your early stage, you want to enjoy life and all that. Sex is not only the way to enjoy life. Getting pregnant at that teenage is very, very, very wrong. And it can destroy you. Look, we were doing the calculation, 9 months pregnancy at the minimum of 1 year. That is roughly 2 years out of your education. Probably wasted years that you might have used to pursue a career and get a career that you'll be getting earnings living from. You wasted it just because of one night enjoyment.
One night stand. Okay, so now it's obvious that the systems that these two continents are using, they are different. You know, from what our brother is saying, that is the reality on the ground. The systems are different. The upbringing are different. The mentality, they are all different. We are not saying the African mentality is bad. We are not saying that. It is good. But we should
it's
also,
not bad. Our way of upbringing is not
really
bad.
Good. It is really good.
I always want us to change some. We should sensitize our children, draw them closer to us. Yes.
We should not just
even not only the mothers, because another thing is the job is always more on the mothers to give the children the orientation they want. No, not only the mother. Being a girl child or a boy child, you as a father, you can teach your girl child. I teach my girl child.
Yeah.
There was a day I saw an advert in the TV and we were all sitting down watching I think there was I don't know if they were watching cartoon or that, I don't know. So the adverts came. I asked my daughter, do you know what that advert mean? She said no. Was this advert that this how they call it, pad, that this ladies uses during their monthly flow? Yeah. So when I asked my daughter, I said, do you know what is that? She said no. I said, do you know what they use it for? She said no. Look, I just opened it. I said, come, this is used at so time. Like you at your age now, very soon you will still get to that place.
Yeah.
When you get to that place, at your first time when you see something like that coming out of your body, you don't have to be scared. If you are in school, tell your teacher. If you are at home, tell your mom. If your mom is not there, tell your dad. Because I try to create this kind of relationship that they can be free to communicate with me, well, irrespective of they are female. You can communicate with me. That is why I'm your father. So if I don't teach them myself, they won't have that access to talk to me when things like that start happening. They won't have that access to discuss things like sex with me. But I'm trying to build a relationship in which they can discuss it with me. Then I'll advise them on what to do.
Right.
Because if our fathers don't do this, the children will always be scared. This is why you see most children prefer to talk to their mother more than the father. It's not because the father is not there, but the father don't really want to discuss issues. You see some parents when you try to say, go and meet your mother.
Yeah, it's really true.
Go and meet your mother. Your mother will take care of that. That is the mother and the child discussion. No, it's also the father and the child's discussion. Because if you are the father, you are silent. Only the mother does it. At the end of the day, the mother gives her what she knows. Then you as a man, probably you might know some more than the mother that you could have added to it to create a balanced foundation. But because you think you're an African father or a man, you don't want to. No. Discuss it with she's your child. Discuss with issues like that with them so that they will grow up to understand the negative and the positive aspect of it. Because at the end of the day, you don't train these children in the way that they can understand these things. They will always end up bringing unwanted pregnancy to their. So to avoid unwanted pregnancy, please, parents, most especially the men, try to be in communication with your daughters. Don't just be shy. Because sometimes the men are always shy to discuss issue that has to do with the other room. No, discuss it with them. You know that, yes,
they have the right.
They have the right to know. And you as a father, you have the right to discuss with your children.
Yeah.
Look, it's not only boy child you discuss issues with. Even the girl child, you discuss issues with them. So if you don't have a boy child, does it mean that the girl child belongs to the mother?
No.
So you discuss issues like that with them so that when they grow up, they can have that access to communicate with you. This goes to most especially to African parents. Our African parents need to be closer to the children. I'm talking about the fathers now. They need to be more closer to the children, have a time to discuss with it. Like me, sometimes I'll just ask my children some unnecessary questions. I know it's not important at the age in which they are, but I'm trying to build a foundation now that they are small. So by the time they got to that teenage way that I want to discuss bigger issue with them, they will not be shy away from it. There are some certain things I will discuss with my daughter and she will be shy. I won't even tell the mother that this is what I discussed with her. But she will be shy. She will be shy away from it. But now that I'm building that foundation, as she's growing with it. As time goes on, that mix of communication will be there. She can open up. I believe the way I'm going with my daughter, if a guy comes to her, I believe she will tell me.
Yeah.
So African fathers, please try to build a foundation with your girl child so that they won't be shy away from all these things to discuss it. Most especially in African home, that the man has the action more. It will help. Then again, not everything you beat a child for. If your child mistakenly pregnant, please accept the child. There are so many ways to avoid pregnancy now. Government approved. They are all there. They are very affordable. So no matter how it is, you can afford it. In some cases, some of the drugs are even cheap. According to what I had, I've not been there. Then I get to that level of doing it for my daughter, so I will know if it's free. But even if it's not free, they are very affordable. I think that microchips on will be also advisable. They put it in the hand for 3 months and all that, then you change. Why there are some drugs that it takes once in a month, it's also advisable.
Yeah, that one it will depend on the parent.
So it depends on the parent or the child, the one the child will prefer. So it's not harmful. It's okay. It's government approved. You can do it for your children to avoid unwanted pregnancy.
Well said. Deep. This is great. Viewers, as you have seen, we have breaking these things down. So don't be surprised. The reason why you don't see the teenage pregnancy in Europe, these are some of the reasons why. Because of these things. Let us do our part. Maybe your family generation change will start from you. Change the mentality. Let us build new mentality, especially for the new generations that are ahead to come. Thank you very much for staying with us till this time. See you on our next episode.